Hey everyone, today we're going to be reading some horror stories off of the r/NoSleep subreddit. That's basically it. So, this first one is written by Music Kenna. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Anyways, let's get into the story. My child went missing and came back different. I never thought I'd come online for advice, especially about something like this. I'm used to having all the answers, or at least I'm good at pretending I do. You see, I write an advice column for a small town paper. If anyone could sort this out, it should be me. That's what makes the situation feel even more hopeless. This is the part where I'm supposed to say I know how crazy it sounds. I don't. I know how it reads. I know how you're probably tilting your head right now, skeptical but curious. The way I do when I get letters from my column about cheating husbands or truant kids. Despite never fully knowing what I was doing, I always had the language to make others think that I did. But I don't have the language for this. I just have him. Let me back up. My son is 8. Was 8. I don't know anymore. We were at the park for a playgroup thing. Other moms, other kids, same place we'd gone every month since he was 3. Wood chips, a few slides, a patch of woods we always said it was too thin to get lost in. He was playing hide and seek. He was always good at that, almost too good. Clever in a way that made you worry what he'd grow into. I remember someone joking, "He's either gonna be a world leader or a criminal mastermind." They started calling his name. "You won. Come on out." But he didn't. They kept calling, and something inside of me shifted, like a lost, ancient instinct we outgrew centuries ago, like a sixth sense I didn't know I had. I don't remember most of that day. Not in order, just pieces. My phone slipping out of my shaking hand when I tried to call 911, my knees hitting the dirt, a ranger saying the words, "No sign of a struggle," like that was supposed to help. They found nothing. No footprints, no fibers, no blood. Just nothing. The search lasted 2 weeks, 14 days of reporters, K9 units, and whispers behind hands. 14 nights of dreaming about body bags and waking up to check his room. I kept the door open like I expected him to just appear again, curled in his sheets, annoyed that I was making a fuss. And during that time, I became a shell of a person. Voice raw from screaming his name, feet numb from chasing shadows, and eyes dry with no tears left. If you never lost a child, I don't think it's a feeling you can put into words. The regret, the devastation, the anger, the emptiness, the fear, the agonizing, burning self-hatred. You can try to sympathize. You can try to understand, but you never will. 2 weeks later, I got a call at 3 a.m. They found him walking along a logging road 6 miles from the park. He was cold, disoriented, but alive. When I saw him at the station, I melted, just dropped. My body shut down with relief. I hugged him, and he let me, but he didn't hug back. He was in shock, I knew that. The officer said as much. This would take some time. The first night back, he slept in my bed. I watched him breathe like it was the most fragile thing in the world, holding his little body in my arms. I remember whispering, "I'll never let you go, ever again." I meant it. Then, now I'm not so sure who I brought home. It's little things, that's how it always starts, right? Little things you tell yourself not to notice. He doesn't remember where he was. That's what they told me to expect. Trauma, amnesia, some protective thing the brain does. But it's not just that he forgot. It's that he doesn't seem to think there's anything to remember. He stares at me blankly when I ask, not confused, not scared, just blank. Like the questions in a language he never learned. He struggles with showering, getting dressed, anything that involves changing clothes. I had to compromise by letting him shower in his underwear, or else he won't even touch the water. He walks like he's copying someone, every step a second behind. He hums to himself now. but not any songs that I recognize. Just slow, disjointed notes out of tune. It's been weeks and these new habits still have not gone away. He calls me mom, but it doesn't sound right. Like the shape of the word is right, but the soul of it is missing. Like hearing your name from a stranger pretending to know you. Last night, I caught him standing in the hallway, not moving, just standing, staring at the wall like he was listening to something I couldn't hear. When I asked what he was doing, he said, "Making sure no one's here." I laughed. I don't know why, it wasn't funny. It just short-circuited my brain. I told his therapist I was careful. I said I thought the trauma had changed him. She said that was normal. That kid processed fear in strange ways. I nodded and pretended to agree. Then I went home and locked my bedroom for the first time in my life. He eats less now, sleeps less. I think he even blinks less. I've checked his body for marks, scars, anything. I don't even know what I'm looking for. Some proof that what I feel isn't just panic unraveling me from the inside out, but everything's where it should be. Same cowlick, same chipped front tooth, same tiny freckle behind his left ear. But I know that's not my son. It's not a dream. It's not paranoia. It's not some post-trauma spiral. It's something else, and I don't know what to do. If anyone's been through this, or if anyone's ever felt this, please say something. Tell me I'm wrong, or tell me I'm not. This next one is from user cult_horror. I hope you guys are doing okay. Let's get into it. She was hanging on the wall. I'm a collector of oddities, artifacts with haunted histories, murmurs of the paranormal. It's all for my podcast, what I do for a living, what pays for my home and my family. So imagine my thrill when I acquired a rare original pressing of Zumaru Vasharnap, Gloomy Sunday. It's a sorrow-soaked lullaby, steeped in death and despair. Its minor key piano melody and mournful lyrics conjure a sense of profound hopelessness, almost as if the song itself breathes with grief. Over time, it gained a reputation not just as music, but as a kind of cursed relic. Legends claim it drove listeners to take their own lives, earning it the name, the Hungarian Death Song. Perfect for my show. I couldn't wait to listen to it. But someone else heard it first and invited whatever followed. I live with two. My wife, a grounded, skeptical woman who rolls her eyes at ghost stories, and my daughter, bright, curious, always eager to explore the unknown. My wife, while not disliking my lifestyle, has always been dismissive of the mystical aspects about what I bring in. This time was no different. "This song's cursed?" my wife mocked. "Please, people don't end things because of music. It's just superstition." Our daughter, on the other hand, was always enthusiastic about my profession, excited for what I was delving into next. They say the young are more in tune with these sorts of things, now more than ever. I wish that wasn't the case. Someone played it. I heard the song drifting from my recording room, only the end, like the last breath of a dying fire. I rushed in. The room was empty. The record player was still spinning. The needle hovered in the air, as if it had just finished whispering to someone. I wasn't distressed that it would curse one of them. That was the last thing on my mind. More so, anger swelled in me. It is a fragile, irreplaceable artifact. It needs to be handled with care. I questioned them both. Denials, flat and cold. I suspected my daughter, my wife, would have no reason to go through with this. At the time, it made sense. In the days that followed, my daughter dimmed. Where once she was sunlight, full of life, now she was shadow and silence. Someone I hardly recognized. She shut herself away, snapped at me, like I was the cause of her suffering. My wife told me to let her be, said it was natural. Girls tend to act like that sometimes, she said. There was a tone in her voice that I didn't recognize. As the days dragged on, it felt like time began to rot around us. My daughter going through a breakdown, and my wife dismissing it at every chance. And then, one evening, our daughter came to me, quietly, nervously. She confided in me that something was wrong, gave details that everything around her was spiraling out of control, as if she was slipping into chaos with every breath. Most worrying of all, she said she could hear things, a whisper in her ear when she was alone, when she was trying to rest, a lone voice. Soft, slow, persuasive, telling her to harm herself. It took me long to put the pieces together, too late to see the record's influence. It was too long driving home that night, too long walking in the hall, too little did I hear the muffled sounds festering behind the wall before the silence settled. However, opening the door felt like an eternity. Time buckled beneath my hand on the doorknob. The world slowed to a breathless halt. I opened the door. I saw her, my daughter. She was hanging on the wall. A noose coiled around her neck. Her pale face wept blood. Her small feet swaying inches above the floor. And beside her, motionless, staring, stood my wife. I moved towards them, my body traversing with instinct, my mind lagging, drowned in horror. Grief gnawed at the edges of my sanity. I stopped, unable to go further. And then, my wife lifted her eyes towards me. Tears, thick and trembling, crawled down her skin, white with shock. But her lips curled into a smile. A terrible smile. Triumphant. Empty. Possessed. Grief and hysteria danced in her gaze. Sorrow twisting her voice. She breathed. "See? I told you. The song. It's..." Her words spilling like shattered glass. "Just superstition. You don't have to end your own life. Not if someone ends theirs for you." Alright, I've been reading for a while, so for this next one we're gonna keep it a little bit short. This story comes from a user by the name of Lose It. It is titled, "My son's imaginary friend Jerry isn't imaginary anymore." My 5-year-old son had an imaginary friend named Jerry. At first, it started with a drawing. Crayons on paper, big black teeth, no eyes, long fingers reaching towards something, someone. The word Jerry scratched over and over again at the top like he was trying to warn me. I asked who Jerry was. "He lives under the first floor," my son said, not looking up. "He comes out when it's quiet. He whispers in my belly so you won't hear." "What does he whisper?" "That you're not my real daddy." I laughed, nervously, but something in my chest sank, like instinct, like my body knew what my brain refused to. That night, the dog clawed at the bedroom door for hours, whining until its paws bled. When I checked, nothing was wrong, until I turned off the light. That's when I saw the imprint of a hand in the baby powder I had spilled earlier, under my son's bed. A long skeletal hand, too big for a child, too narrow for an adult. I stayed up the next night, left my phone recording by his bed. 3:13 a.m. Static. Then breathing. Then a whisper. "I like your skin. I want to wear it." Then my son's voice. "Okay." I tore into the room. He was sleeping peacefully, but his pillow was missing. I found it later, under the bed, soaked in something thick and red. Not blood, something darker. It smelled like wet rust and rotten leaves. The next day he drew a new picture. 3 people in his bed, a dark figure at the foot. The label, Daddy. Only this time, the figure was smiling with my face. I moved us to a hotel. No explanation to my wife, just panic and instinct. That night, I woke up choking. A piece of paper was shoved in my mouth. Crayon. My son's handwriting. I let him in. I screamed. My son didn't wake up. He was sitting on the floor, eyes rolled back, mouth moving, but no sound. Just mouthing 2 words over and over again. Too late. At 3 a.m. exactly, the closet door opened. Not creaked, not swayed, it opened. And there he was. Jerry. No feet. Black arms too long to belong to a man. A mouth that split open sideways. No face except mine. A mirrored, rotted version of mine. He crawled across the floor like something learning how to walk. Fast, broken, hungry. I threw my son in the car. Drove 3 towns over. Did not stop. He doesn't sleep anymore. Neither do I. He draws new things now. Every day. Pages full of symbols. Pages with our house, but burning. Pages with our bodies, drawn lifeless, sprawled in impossible positions. Always smiling, always with Jerry behind us. I tried burning the pictures. They come back, under my pillow, on the walls, once inside my car's rear view mirror. The worst one? A drawing of my wife, sleeping, with her mouth sewn shut, and something pushing out through her skin from inside. I went home today to check on her. She wasn't there, but she left a note in the mirror, written backwards in a thick brown-red smear. Jerry says thank you. Last night, I fell asleep by accident. I woke up with stitches in my stomach. No pain, just numbness and blood. I haven't checked what's inside yet, but I think Jerry's already there. And I don't think I'm gonna wake up tomorrow as me. He's crawling out, piece by piece. Thank you for listening. If there are any stories that you would like me to read, leave some recommendations in the comments below. And if you want to support me and my storytelling, you're welcome to leave a like on the video, or subscribe to the channel, or both. Maybe even share the video with some friends, you know? Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening, and until next time, don't talk to me.